We can split the atom, sequence our own DNA, and measure the mass of black holes a billion light-years away. We have achieved astonishing mastery over the physical world, yet we remain completely paralyzed by the oldest question on record: does God exist? After thousands of years of rigorous scientific discovery and intense philosophical debate, neither side has managed to deliver a definitive, undeniable answer. For the optimist, the physical evidence is profoundly suggestive. Across every recorded era and culture, humans display an innate longing for transcendence. When you combine that universal impulse with the incredibly precise, fine-tuned constants of physics required to sustain life, the universe appears deeply purposeful. But the skeptic counters with biology. We are biologically hardwired to seek patterns because pattern recognition kept our ancestors alive. When we encounter the unknown, we reliably invent myths, like dragons, to explain the dark. The skeptic argues this is confirmation bias at scale. We look at a massive, chaotic cloud of random events, and we cherry-pick the exact data points that validate the meaning we already want to find. Relying solely on observable evidence allows both sides to claim victory, leaving the debate in a permanent tie. To break the stalemate, thinkers had to leave the physical world behind and escalate the battle into the realm of pure logic. Stepping away from galaxies and biology, the debate shifts to the abstract rules of causality. Here, the argument argues that God uniquely explains why there is something rather than nothing. However, invoking a creator does not actually solve the mystery of existence. It simply relocates the mystery one step backward. This creates a trap, the infinite regress. If logic dictates every effect requires a cause, you must answer, what caused God? To bypass this, believers claim God always existed. But this grants an exemption to the creator, a convenience we refuse to extend to the universe. At this level of causality, human reason hits a hard wall. To keep the debate moving, we must rethink the very definition of existence. The philosopher offers a radical reframe. The debate is stuck because both sides are making the exact same mistake, treating God as a being among other beings, or just another link in the chain of causes. Instead, God is proposed as the ground of being, not a physical creator who sparked the chain reaction, but the underlying substrate from which all things draw their isness. God is the reason a chain can exist at all. But there is a catch to escalating the argument to this altitude. At this highest level of thought, reason runs completely out of tools. Even rigid scientific frameworks ultimately rest on brute axioms, foundational starting points that cannot be mathematically justified from within. Because absolute logical proof is impossible at this depth, both the atheist and the believer must eventually make an unprovable leap, one into meaning, the other into absurdity. If human logic is mathematically incapable of deciding the metaphysical reality of God, where does that leave our society in the real world? The pragmatist suggests a pivot. We are finite creatures swinging finite instruments at an infinite debate. We have to shift our focus away from what belief proves and look at what belief actually does. The practical reality is entirely measurable. For thousands of years, faith-based frameworks have established moral boundaries, built global hospital networks, and negotiated the end of wars. The imperative now is to design institutions that can preserve those immense societal benefits while remaining completely open to scientific evidence and the reality of our own uncertainty. In the end, the most compelling evidence in this entire debate may not be the existence of a deity. The fact that human beings possess the logic, the longing, and the moral seriousness to even ask the question in the first place is perhaps the most mysterious datum of all.